People have developed fear from coming to the hospital, even for the conditions that are potentially life-threatening.
The Cleveland Clinic CEO reminds everyone hospitals are safe during the governor's press briefing today. Also, what damage has been done to our economy because of the coronavirus and what our schools may look like come the fall. There's a lot of debate about face masks, whether they work and which ones are the best. We put all of them to the test to see which ones hold up. No baseball, MLB threatening to cancel the 2020 season. Nick Camino and I break down the latest drama within the league and what it means for us fans.
Biggest thing is going to an area where it's not crowded, where there's not a lot of people packed in together.
Is it safe to travel? We have a list of things to keep in mind before your next getaway. And we all could use some new recipes to spice up our diet. Chef Eric Wells has a gem we can all try on our home grills. What's new starts now.
And now, live from WKYC Studios, this is What's New.
Hello again, Northeast Ohio, and thank you so much for choosing What's New. I'm Jay Crawford. Great to be with you again. Romney Smith is in for Betsy. Romney, a very good Tuesday afternoon to you. Great to see you.
Good Tuesday to you. It's always good to be here with you, Jay, and every time I'm here, there's no shortage of news to get to.
Yeah, that is certainly the case again today. We start this day at 5 with some sobering news about the coronavirus here in Ohio. For the second straight day, our count of new cases is on the rise. The state announcing 434 new cases in the most recent 24-hour reporting window. And even though that's only an increase of 6 cases from yesterday, it is still moving in the wrong direction. As for total deaths, 24 new deaths from the coronavirus in Ohio, up from yesterday, but it is still below the state's 21-day reporting average of 28 deaths. In the meantime, Governor Mike DeWine today holding his daily news briefing, and he said for the first time since the pandemic started that the state has actually had to borrow money from the federal government in order to pay unemployment claims. That certainly isn't good news. DeWine also talked schools, saying he plans to have guidelines in place for districts within the next 10 days, and added schools will look different for each individual district, just like it does during a cold and flu season. He also brought in the president and CEO of the Cleveland Clinic, Dr. Tom Mahalovic, to talk about the importance of seeing a doctor if you need one.
People are simply not seeking care out of fear. Hospitals are safe. We have created a safe environment. It's really, really important not to delay care. People need to go back to their physicians, their caregivers, their nurses, and make sure that they allow us to take good care of them.
The governor also talked about pop-up testing locations. You may have heard about these. They're coming up now across Ohio. One of those locations will be in Northeast Ohio. It takes place at Elyria City Hall. It will be this Friday from 9 a.m. until 3 p.m. And the good news about this is anyone can get a free test at that location on Friday. Romney?
Great news. Thanks, Jay. Now on your feed at 5, there's a medical breakthrough regarding COVID-19 we have to tell you about today. Scientists in England say a steroid called dexamethasone greatly improves survival in patients with severe COVID-19. Results of the study were released this morning, and our senior health correspondent, Monica Robbins, is always on top of it. She joins us live to explain what exactly it is and what it does. Hey, Monica.
Hey, Romney. Dexamethasone is an anti-inflammatory steroid that was approved for medical use back in 1961. So the good news is it's pretty much on every pharmacy shelf around the world, and it's cheap. Costs about $25 here in the U.S. Now, it's commonly used to treat conditions like arthritis, allergic reactions, and immune system disorders. And researchers in England found it's an effective weapon against COVID-19, especially among the sickest of patients, those on ventilators, as it reduced death rates by a third, Romney.
That's some awesome news, but I have to ask, you said severe COVID-19. What about the patients who weren't quite as sick? Was there any benefit to them?
Well, for those who are just getting oxygen therapy, the risk of dying was reduced about 20%, but unfortunately, no, it had no effect on those with mild cases of coronavirus.
Gotcha. Now, what's the actual difference between this one and the other one, remdesivir, that was tested locally in Cleveland?
Yeah, that's a good question. Remdesivir shortened hospitalization time, but it did not have a significant effect on death rates like this study showed dexamethasone does. And it's also hard to get. Gilead, the company that makes remdesivir, is ramping up production, but currently it's only available at a select few hospitals. And it also requires an injection over several days, so it's not as easy to administer.
Good information there. And one more thing for you, Monica. I understand that there's now another issue talking about what COVID actually does to the human brain. That's pretty concerning.
Yeah, doctors are finding that in some cases, COVID can actually lead to brain damage by causing stroke, seizures, confusion, coma, or encephalopathy. And at 6, I'm going to talk to a local neurologist about his concerns regarding COVID and if he thinks patients should have MRIs before they leave the hospital.
Looking forward to that. Thanks, Monica.
Well, here's a question, and it's the big question in the sporting world. Will baseball fans get a season this year, or will the sport deny us of one altogether? It is the big question today, and all signs are not looking promising right now. Let's bring in Nick Camino. He's going to join us to talk about this. Nick, where are we on this? What's the latest news on some kind of a deal being struck?
Oh, Jay, it's pretty ugly right now. I mean, some people have likened it to a soap opera. I liken this thing to like a scary horror film or something. The negotiations between the players' union and the MLB owners, it's almost hit a standstill at the moment. It's just gotten so nasty because both sides aren't budging. Both sides are just letting greed get in the way right now. Jay, I know you remember this. A couple of days ago, the commissioner of Major League Baseball said that he was 100% certain that there would be a season. He came out and this because he can implement a season. He doesn't need any approval on this. He can implement a 45 to 50 game season. He was just waiting if the players union was going to come back with an offer, but he said, no, we're going to have a season because I can force it. Well, now last night, he completely changed his tune. He said he's not confident that there will be a season in 2020. So this whole thing is a mess. The players are saying now, tell us where and when. But now, Jay, you've got major safety concerns with the coronavirus. You had players and coaches in MLB test positive for this. We reported that last night. So right now, Jay, there's word out there that there are some clubs in baseball that would actually be okay with not having a season, which sounds crazy, but there's just so many different factors involved in this right now that I just think there's too much uncertainty for a lot.
Yeah, that report came from Ken Rosenthal, a former coworker of mine, someone who is always on the money. His report said anywhere from 6 to 8 teams would be against having a season or would be okay with not having a season. I have a theory, Nick. I don't know if it's in line with yours. Any idea which 6 or 8 clubs that might be?
Well, I just think on the surface, when you hear 6 to 8, I'm really not going to the major markets when you think about it. I mean, you're going to some of the middle to lower markets. Maybe you have a Tampa in there, a Kansas City, Cincinnati Reds, perhaps the Cleveland Indians. You think about these teams that really don't have the biggest TV deals, Jay. We know how much money goes into that. I got to imagine those clubs might be okay with it.
Yeah, it would be harder for those teams to meet player payroll because of the smaller numbers coming in from TV dollars. Interesting, too, because the 6 to 8 number means that for the commissioner to get anything through, he needs 75% approval from the owners. If he has 7 that aren't on board with this, he doesn't have 75%, and there is where the rub is going to come in. We may not have a season at all. Nick, thank you very much. We'll see you later on in the 6 o'clock program. Well, I talked with Ben Axelrod, WKYC digital sports producer, earlier today. We had an in-depth discussion about this very topic. You can watch the full conversation now on WKYC.com or the WKYC app. All right, this is the portion of the show where you get to play along at home. We want to hear your opinion, and this is definitely a hot topic in the state of Ohio. When Kings Island and Cedar Point reopen next month, all guests will be required to wear masks the entire time they are inside the park. The hotly debated topic sparked a petition on change.org, with the creators wanting Kings Island to lift the rule. The petition declares, quote, if you choose to wear a mask, great, but don't force healthy individuals to do so, end quote. We want your opinion. Should amusement parks require guests to wear masks? You can go to wkyc.com/vote now. So far, and Mo, you're going to have to help me out on this because I cannot see the results on my screen. So far, the majority of you are saying no. And you'll be able to read the numbers much clearer than I can. I apologize, just cannot make out what the numbers are on the very small screen I'm looking at. I'm told, though, the vote is close. Keep giving us your opinion, and we'll update it later in the show. Romney?
Thanks, Jay. All right, so let's check in with Russ Mitchell, who always has his eye on the news, for a look at today's top stories. Hey, Russ.
Hey, Romney, good afternoon to you, and good afternoon to you at home. Police in Akron's mayor hope a reward will help them catch the killer of 18-year-old Nakia Crawford. She was shot by a driver as she sat in her car at a red light Saturday afternoon. Police are looking for the suspect's car, believed to be a black Chevy Camaro. This afternoon, Akron Mayor Dan Horrigan honored the teenager.
Nakia was only 18 years old, had just graduated from North High School, and had her future all decided at Central State University. Now, because of a tragic act of incomprehensible violence, the future she dreamed of was stolen from her, and she deserves justice.
In just 2 days, the reward for information is already at $50,000. That includes a $20,000 donation from family members and a $25,000 personal donation from the CEO of Summa Health, plus $5,000 from Crime Stoppers. Anyone with information about Nakia's murder is asked to call Summit County Crime Stoppers at 330-434-COPS. The New York City Police Department is disbanding its plainclothes anti-crime unit. This marks the end of the city's controversial stop and frisk program. The 600 officers in the unit will be reassigned. More than 80% of those who were stopped and frisked were black or Latino. The police commissioner says this is a seismic shift in the culture of the NYPD. And 2 local hospitals have made it onto the U.S. News list of the best children's hospitals in the country. Cleveland Clinic Children's ranked in the top 50 in 10 categories, including cardiology and heart surgery. University Hospital's Rainbow Babies and Children's ranked in the top 50 hospitals in 8 areas, including orthopedics and cancer. And that is good news. And I guess my soundtrack kind of just ran out there, Romney. The music list left.
It needed its own moment of silence because it's so important to shed some positive light on our area.
That's true. Very good. I like the way you're thinking. See you later.
Thanks, Russ. Well, we've all heard of people's Facebook accounts getting hacked, right? But what if that resulted in your account being shut down with no way to get it reinstated? That's now a thing. People all around the world have been reporting that their Facebook accounts are getting hacked by someone putting up an ISIS flag. Facebook says that violates the community standards practices, so those people get kicked off, even though it's not their fault. The users say they're losing years of precious memories, and it's also why one attorney is suing.
Videos of my dad, and you can hear his voice, and watching him playing with my kids when they were little.
There is no contact information whatsoever for an ordinary user to get a hold of Facebook. There's no customer service number, no general email.
Many of the hacked accounts are for businesses, which have left people without a way to make their living. We asked Facebook if they could implement a process to make it easier for any people to contact them, but we haven't heard back yet. If you're like me, you're always looking for a new recipe. We have a new one you can try on your grill. And could the Hall of Fame game be played without any fans in the stadium? We have that answer coming up on Clicking in Cleveland. Hey, Jason, what's the weather looking like?
Hey there, Romney. Yeah, today was an absolutely wonderful day across Northeast Ohio, and things are about to get a bit warmer. Coming up after the break, I'll let you know how warm and when you're going to need the umbrella.
Welcome back to What's New. I'm sure everyone gets in a cooking rut every now and again, especially right now since we're all spending more time in our own kitchen these days. So What's New went to Chef Eric Wells. We wanted to get a new meal idea. It's simple enough for even me to pull off. Chef Eric, thank you very much for joining us. So tell us a little bit about what you're making and what goes into it.
Hey Jay, how's it going today? So what I'm doing today is a little grilled swordfish kebabs. Now what I did was I took some swordfish and with some vegetables and marinated it in this great marinade I'm going to show you guys and put it on the grill for a couple of minutes. It doesn't take long. And again, it comes out really, really good.
Now, where's the best place to get your swordfish? Do you have a preference?
I'm a big West Side Market guy. I support the market. So everything that we're doing today is from the West Side Market.
How do you prepare it to go onto the kebab?
I have my swordfish here. So I'm putting my swordfish into a bowl. Now, it's key that you put it into a glass bowl, not a metal bowl, because we're using a lemon marinade. And that lemon marinade can, kind of cause acidity and break down that bowl, and you'll taste it in your food, okay? So I have a little olive oil, a little soy sauce. This is the lemon juice that we're adding. And then we're adding some of our dry ingredients. So I have some rosemary, some dried oregano, and some red pepper flakes, okay? And then what I like to do is just kind of marinate this for at least for a maximum of 30 minutes. I don't want to cook it longer or marinate it longer than that. I take this skewer, I take the swordfish here, and I thread it on, and I use some of my vegetables here. So I have a little red pepper, some zucchini. And then what I like to do is take a mushroom, little shiitake mushroom here, and put it at the end to kind of cap it off so the vegetables don't roll off, and just cook these through. Maybe about 3 minutes on each side, 3 minutes, keep rotating them.
So those are cooked through in 6 minutes, and you're eating swordfish kebab with wonderful vegetables and that delicious marinade.
Correct. And what I like to do here, Jay, is serve it with a little couscous. So I have some lemon couscous here, and I like to just serve it right over a little bed of lemon couscous. And again, it's a nice Mediterranean dish. You're getting those great flavors. It's very healthy.
Tell us a little bit about your services and what you provide. This sounds incredible.
So Skylar Ray's has been in business 16 years. We are a private chef company. So primarily what I do is I specialize in doing intimate dinners for two. What I do is I go to a couple's home and I do a 6-course dinner in their home. And I bring everything, linen, flowers, candles, food, of course, china, silverware, everything. The only thing I use with the clients is their stove and their water, and I clean up afterwards. So it's great for this time of year. Unfortunately, a lot of our restaurants are closed or, have limited seating. If you just want something really nice and romantic in your home, you hire me to come in and we just do a nice little 6-course dinner. I do have a website, which is skylarrays.com, SKYELARAES.com. Or you can do a Google or Yahoo search, Chef Eric Wells. You get all my information. You'll see the reviews and everything. And again, I'd be honored to serve you. So it's a lot of fun. And again, I thank Channel 3 for the opportunity.
All right, Chef Eric Wells, thank you so much for the awesome alternative dish to burgers and steaks. And best of luck to Skylar Ray's and you. Thanks again for joining us.
Thanks, Jay. Take care.
I enjoyed that. I enjoyed my time with Chef Eric. He seems like a great guy, and I think you should look into his service. I read a lot of the reviews, and I looked at the menus, and Jason, I know you're a romantic. You're looking for that romantic evening.
Of course.
Chef Eric could be your guy. Comes into the house. Hey, he comes in and takes care of all of it. It's a really cool deal. Really cool.
I want to know what kind of wine he brings over, too. I'm just trying to figure that out, or if I have to supply my own wine, because I know Romney, she's a wine kind of girl.
No, he'll bring it. Yeah, I know she is, and he'll bring it.
Okay.
And he's got a menu and the whole deal. You have to check it out. Dude, my lawn
one of the
is
things
thirsty.
I'm working on for you
I mean, it's getting crunchy out there.
Yeah,
oh, good.
It's good.
Very good.
I'm working on these tacos for you because I know how much you love my sign there behind me here. So hopefully by the end of this forecast, I'll maybe have some tacos ready to go for you. So speaking of tacos and the weather, you know what? We got 4 more days left, folks, until the official start of summer. And I have been counting down because you know what? Summer is by far one of my favorite seasons. Even even though I don't have that summer body. If you do plan to go out tonight, it is going to be an absolutely gorgeous night. So do me a favor, snap a photo. Let me know how you are enjoying it. Tag me on Instagram, Twitter, as well as Facebook at Jason Fraser TV. Or you can always go to our WKYC Channel 3 app and you can upload a picture for free there. So the muggy meter is going to be heading on the way upward. The reason why is because we got much humid air that's going to be moving across our region. So I think tomorrow is going to be our last day where things are going to be comfortable, and then we're going to have the dew points well into the 60s. Right now, the air temperature is either in the 70s or 80s around the region, including 80 degrees in Ashland as well as Mansfield, 83 over in Akron. Right now, we are calm across the sky, but one of the things you'll notice here is there is a system to our south and east that we are watching, and that is going to try and make its way across Ohio, but it is going to be blocked by high pressure. One of the other things that you'll notice there is just some cloud cover off the coast of Charleston, South Carolina. That is a system that is in the process of developing that we may see develop into a tropical system. National Design 1 hour-by-hour forecast. Later on tonight, by 8 o'clock, we're going to see temperatures dip down into the upper 60s. And then by tomorrow morning, we're going to be waking up to temps in the 50s. Another beautiful morning across northeast Ohio. By tomorrow afternoon, the farther inland you are, the more likely you are that you could end up seeing just a few clouds, but we're not expecting any rain. Here's a look right now at Universal Windows Direct 7-day forecast. So a high for tomorrow of 81, 90 degrees by Sunday. We'll have much more news right after the break.
It is time to check in on what's clicking in Cleveland. Romney Smith is ready to tell us all about it. She's in for Steph today. So, Romney, what is clicking in our area right now?
All right, Jay, let's jump right in. One of my favorite stores, Target, is joining the likes of Google, Twitter, the NFL, and Nike. They announced today that Juneteenth will, in fact, now be a company holiday. Target headquarters will be closed for the day, and employees will get time and a half to observe the historic date. Juneteenth, June 19th, celebrates the date in which slaves were all recognized as free in the U.S. So we all know the Emancipation Proclamation freed the slaves legally, but plenty of slave owners just ignored it. So 2 years later, on June 19th, all of the enslaved were finally told and recognized that, hey, you're all free citizens now. This year marks the 155th anniversary, and that's this Friday. Columbus State Community College has decided to remove the statue of Christopher Columbus. Talks had been underway for years, but were accelerated to, quote, address the troubling history and legacy represented by the Christopher Columbus statue. The school president says it will come down within the next 2 weeks and be placed into storage. School leaders saying it's a symbolic gesture of the school's commitment to continue and accelerate the fight against systemic racism. The statue is expected to be replaced with an art installation. Also, there is a pretty good chance that fans will not be allowed to attend the Hall of Fame game in Canton this year. Today, Governor Mike DeWine said getting a group that big together is highly unlikely. However, he didn't rule it out completely. He said we have to see where we are when the game rolls around. Right now, it's scheduled for August 6th of this year. The Steelers are set to take on the Cowboys. So, Jay, a lot of people are going to be upset if that doesn't happen, so maybe they can make it work some other way.
I have to tell you, Romney, the closer we get to the start of training camps and thinking about, the preseason games, I think at this point, if I were a betting man, and I'm not, but if I had to pick one or the other, I'm not sure we're going to have an uninterrupted NFL season. A lot of things are happening in all sports, and even in the NFL. Yesterday we heard Zeke Elliott was one of a handful of players that have tested positive. It's not looking great. And so I don't know what it looks like. I don't know if we just have no preseason at all, but I'm starting to get increasingly concerned for the NFL.
We want the normal season, but you're right. I think it's cutting it kind of close.
Yeah, it is. And I'm sure we'll continue to follow it here at 3 News. Romney, thanks. Coming up next, we all know the importance of wearing a mask, but are some masks better than others? We decided we were going to put the cloth mask to the test to see how it does against the medical mask. Our results are coming up. And parents, if you're looking for a way to keep your kids active, we have a free virtual football camp with some of Ohio State's biggest names involved. We're going to tell you how to get involved. Again, this is free. It's straight ahead.
And now, live from WKYC Studios, this is What's New.
Welcome back to What's New. I hope you're having a wonderful Tuesday, an abundance of sunshine and beautiful weather out there. Do try to get out and enjoy it. I'm Jay Crawford. Romney Smith is in for Betsy today. And Romney, as you know, we love to start the 5:30 half hour with some happy news, something that makes us smile. I think this will make Browns fans excited. I spoke with former Browns great Joe Thomas yesterday, and I asked him where his level of optimism on the upcoming Browns season. So, Joe Thomas, tell us something good.
I'm very optimistic. I think they're going to have a very good season. I would say that I've got a high level of confidence that they will make the playoffs.
Nice.
I know that they're not going 0-16. I would put a lot of money on that. Winning the Super Bowl, maybe. I'm optimistic that there's a chance, but I feel pretty good. I feel that Baker is going to have a great bounce back season. I think the combination with him and Kevin Stefanski's offense just fits with what he does really well.
I love that news. I know by nature, Joe is a positive guy, and he always looks at the positive side of things. But really, everything he says makes perfect sense. All the pieces seem to be in place. Everything is pointing towards a good season. And hopefully, we will get that this year.
But, Jay, he's got a good point. You got to start mentally first, right? If you're not winning in your head, you're certainly not going to win on the field. So all the positive energy and the positive thoughts, that's where you have to start. And I really hope it comes to fruition.
Yeah, that is absolutely right. Before you can, you have to think you can. And I don't think confidence will be a problem with this group. I really don't. But what will be important is getting off to a good start. That didn't happen last season. They were behind the 8 ball all year, and they were chasing their tails. Got to start hot this year. No question about it.
I'm with you on that. Thanks, Jay. All right, now it's time for our top talker. There is a lot of discussion about face masks and whether they work, how they work, which one's the best. We all have those conversations, right? Well, Today Show reporter Vicky Nguyen put 3 different kind of masks to the test. A microbiologist first had her cough into a petri dish without a mask. Then she did the same thing with 3 different kinds of masks. We're talking about a cloth mask, a surgical mask, and an N95 mask. Then they sent all 4 petri dishes off to the lab, and 60 hours later, the results were kind of surprising. The mask that she coughed into without a mask showed all kinds of bacteria growing, kind of gross, but all 3 samples that she coughed into with a mask showed no growth at all. So all 3 types of masks stopped bacteria from reaching the petri dish. Now, we're talking about bacteria, not viruses like COVID-19, but still, the experiment gives you some kind of idea of how the masks do protect you and those people around you from the droplets created when we cough. And if you've ever seen it in slow-mo, it's pretty gross, so the masks are a good thing. And since we're talking about masks right now, let's check in on our question of the day. There was a petition calling for Kings Island to cancel the mask requirement when the park reopens. So we asked you, should guests be required to wear masks at amusement parks? Most of you are saying yes right now, 73%. So that changed. And you know what? I'm kind of with you, but maybe your concern is going down a roller coaster with a mask on. Who knows? It could also help a bug from getting in your mouth.
Yeah, look, if you can handle the mask, it's just one of those things now. It's socially appropriate, I think, to keep the mask on if you're around other people. I think that's not that much to ask. Right now, it is time to check in with our good friend Russ Mitchell to get a look at some of the other top stories making headlines today. Hello again, Russ.
Hey, Jay, I'm still trying to get past that bug in the mouth thing, so please just bear with me for a second, but I think I'm going to be okay. It is great to see you, my friend. Here's what is happening. Tensions are building on the Korean peninsula after North Korea destroyed a liaison office near the border. North Korea's state-run TV announced this morning that building was destroyed in response to, quote, angry public opinion. The North Korean army also released a statement saying the move was made to force defectors and their sympathizers to, quote, once again, pay dearly for their crimes. Police are investigating a carjacking at Topgolf in Independence. A woman says she was leaving the complex when 2 men approached her with a gun and demanded her keys. She said she told them no, and they threatened to shoot her, so she handed those keys over. Police are asking for your help if you have any information. And we have some positive news about retail sales. They soared 17.7% from April to May. Businesses may be partly rebounding from the coronavirus closures, but purchases are still down about 6% from a year ago. Economists say the recession has changed where people shop and what they buy. And that certainly makes sense. JLCU at 6 o'clock.
All right, Russ, we'll see you then. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, it's time for your daily pop break, and we have the latest details on who Machine Gun Kelly is dating and what new venture Kanye West is taking on.
New couple alert, Machine Gun Kelly and Megan Fox are taking their relationship public after the Daily Mail caught the two holding hands and kissing in LA yesterday. Megan just recently ended her nearly 10-year marriage to actor Brian Austin Green and is clearly not letting that stop her from having fun with the Cleveland native. Meanwhile, Brian was spotted out on the town last week with model Courtney Stodden. Listen, we're just happy that all of them are happy. And move over Kylie and Kim, it looks like Kanye is making his way into the makeup business. Yep. According to TMZ, Kanye West recently took out a trademark for Yeezy Beauty, which covers skincare, nail polish, hair care, perfume, and just about anything else you could think of. Kanye has used the term Yeezy over the years because of his shoe collaboration with Adidas, as well as his clothing collection. So it's possible he purchased a trademark just as a blanket coverage. Either way, I can't wait to see how this one works out. And former Bachelorette Caitlin Bristow is finally achieving a goal she's been talking about for years.
Caitlin, will you be on the next season of Dancing with the Stars?
Okay, play cool, Caitlin, play cool. Yep. Bristow will finally get her chance to dance for the coveted Mirror Ball trophy after years of expressing interest in the show. Bristow has wanted to be on Dancing with the Stars back in 2017, but was allegedly told no by The Bachelor's producer, Mike Fleiss, despite several previous Bachelors being allowed to compete. Well, she couldn't contain her excitement over the invitation and even posted a video of her dancing after the announcement was made. Good for her. Better late than never.
Now, we all know some of these people get on reality TV shows in order to get on a bigger platform, and she achieved that goal. Sounds good to me. Jay?
Wow, I can't imagine being that happy over anything. Really.
But kudos to her, you know. Hopefully she does well.
When you live in the reality world bubble,
right,
that's where you choose to live. Okay, Romney, thank you very much. We appreciate it. COVID-19 has many people worried about traveling. We have a checklist of all the things that you need to consider before you book any vacation. Jason, how's the weather looking?
Well, today was one of those days you just want to take it, put it in a bottle, and save it. Because when you see where the temperature is going, ooh, you're going to have to pump up the AC. I'm going to let you know how warm it's about to get after the break.
All right, Jay, thank you very much. It's time for our pop quiz. This is a good one today. On this day in 1884, the first roller coaster in America opened. Which amusement park was it located? Coney Island, Cedar Point, or Disney World? We have the answer when we come back. All right, I think this pop quiz was really actually kind of easy. You could just get the right answer by process of elimination. We asked which was the first roller coaster park in America, which park had the first roller coaster, and the answer is A, Coney Island. According to History.com, the ride was known as a switchback railway at what, about 6 miles per hour? I'm not sure that qualifies as a roller coaster, by the way. And Romney, get this, it cost a nickel to ride it.
I mean, I would love to pay a nickel to go to any theme park nowadays, but 6 miles an hour, I'm gonna need them to boost that up to like 65 or higher.
Yeah, it must go faster than I can run for it to qualify as a roller coaster.
Absolutely.
And 6 miles an hour, that isn't going to get it done.
No.
But technically, they were the first.
But 5 cents? I'll take that. I'll take that. Thanks,
I'm in on that part of it. Yeah.
All right, it is Travel Tuesday, and the summer travel season, it's here, but a lot of people are hesitant, myself included, to make vacation plans because of COVID-19. Well, our Danielle Wiggins has the questions you might want to consider asking yourself before booking a trip.
A very different summer travel season is here during a global pandemic.
The safety of travel is really dependent on where you're going and where you're coming from.
According to a recent survey from the personal finance website Value Penguin, 61% of respondents say they plan to visit family or friends once travel restrictions are lifted.
We have our masks, we have our hand sanitizer, we're just ready to go.
Trisha Montz flew from Cleveland to Los Angeles with her family and is driving back home cross-country in an RV.
Isolation and keeping up with social distancing, even when you're on vacation, is still going to be important.
Every traveler should stay up to date on the number of COVID cases both at home and their vacation destination. No matter whether traveling by plane, train, or bus, passengers should wear masks and wipe down their seats.
Wiping down, disinfecting commonly touched surfaces, tray tables, seats, armrests, those types of things where people are constantly touching them.
Same advice goes once you reach final destination, whether hotel or rental, wipe down commonly used surfaces. And what about where to stop if you decide to take a road trip?
Biggest thing is going to an area where it's not crowded, where there's not a lot of people packed in together.
Most importantly, continue health and safety measures we've learned while staying at home, so you can stay safe when you travel as well.
Danielle Wiggins, 3 News.
Now keep in mind, here in Ohio, travel restrictions have been lifted, so you don't have to quarantine when you come home unless your job tells you need to or you think you've been directly exposed. Now let's check on weather, since we're talking about outside and flying places. And gosh, Jason, I know we both love to travel, so we want to go, but we're being a little cautious, and you know what? That's okay. That's okay.
Yeah, I know we have been talking about taking some vacations, and it just feels a little weird that we can't go anywhere right now. But you know what, Romney, when you see where the temperature is going, you may want to actually stay here in Northeast Ohio. And the reason why is because things are looking up for everybody. And you know what? Outside your window right now, many of you are seeing clear skies, but that is all going to be changing over the next couple of days. And when I pulled up the Muggy meter to let you know why, and it is all because we have humid air that's going to be moving across Northeast Ohio. Starting on Thursday, those dew points are going to be in the 60s. And as they slowly go up, that's when things start to feel even more uncomfortable around here. Temps right now are looking pretty good. We have 77 in Elyria as well as Medina, 74 over in Chardon, 79 in Ravenna. Doppler radars, you can see right now, things are quiet. That green that you see there popping up on radar, that is just some ground clutter. The radar, as it's doing its sweep, is a little bit more sensitive on clear days, and it's picking up on some of the things that are on the ground there. As far as a much wider view here on across the Midwest, you'll notice that we have some drier air across our area. We have high pressure that is in control up in Canada, and that is essentially blocking the system that you see right there that's trying to make its way into southern Ohio. Right now it's moving across much of North Carolina and Virginia and into West Virginia. I'm watching a little small area that you see right there just to the east of Charleston right now. According to the National Hurricane Center, it has less than a 10% chance of actually forming into a system there. But as you know, this is hurricane season, so we are always keeping our very watchful eye on the Atlantic. All right, National Design Mart hour by hour forecast will continue to have that north wind, and that basically means that those of you along the lakeshore will end up seeing some cooler temperatures. Those of you in inland communities like Worcester, Akron, Canton, will see temperatures dipping down into the 60s and then 50s in the overnight hours, and then another gorgeous morning all across northeast Ohio. We'll see mostly clear skies and temperatures starting out in the 50s to upper 50s, and then by the afternoon time we will see temperatures warming up into the upper 70s for the majority of us, and we will definitely need those sunglasses. All right, here's a look right now at your Universal Windows Direct 7-day forecast. I think the majority of us will get very close to 80 degrees, and then we'll hit 83. A slight chance of seeing some moisture move through our area on Thursday, and then we slowly start to warm up. 85 for Friday, 83 for Saturday, and then for Father's Day, which, can you believe it? It is Sunday. Hopefully you got Dad a card. We're going to see very warm temperatures here, around 90 degrees in Romney. There is a slight chance of seeing some rain in the afternoon.
Well, Sunday then, of course, has to be my pick of the week because not only is it a holiday for dads, it's 90 degrees. 2 wins in my book.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to getting that grill out and getting out there on the roof and just, flipping a couple of hamburgers. I'm looking forward to it. I love summer.
All right. Thank you, Jason. So the warm weather in Ohio always seems to go a little too fast. So we know the drill. If it's nice, we're outside. And today we're helping you light up your yard so you can enjoy the summer nights. String lights are really popular. So our friends at Ashley Clark Interior Design Group shared some ideas on how to hang them. You can either string them from a hook that's attached to your home, a post that's in the ground or in a pot, or around a tree. Now, if string lights aren't really your thing, you can always add some hanging lanterns.
This can provide a light that would act like a chandelier without providing electric to your dining or your outdoor dining area or really anywhere. You can just hang an outdoor lantern that has a battery operated candle, which we've talked about in the past, that comes on a timer, so every night for about 4 to 6 hours you can have that light. These you can hang literally from a pergola.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of
a tree. A covered patio, anything like that. Yeah. A front porch. So you can hang these really anywhere. Doing them in 2s or 3s, I think, really gives you a great effect as well.
And let's talk about your table decor. If you have an outdoor table, they suggest using a battery-operated candle and then putting those into a colored vase to kind of mix it up or match your theme. Still ahead, parents, ooh, you're gonna love this one. We have details about a free virtual camp with Ohio State players. And this adorable fawn was rescued. The amazing story of how it was reunited with its mama in our Worth the Watch.
Welcome back to What's New. It's almost Dad's Day, and admittedly, sometimes we can be a little difficult to buy for, but I think this is a pretty cool idea that could have you cooking with Dad and Michael Simon. Here's how it works. The famous chef posted on his Facebook page that he's selling burger kits at his B-Spot locations. When you pick it up, you'll get a Zoom password. Simon and his dad will Zoom with you and your dad, so you can all cook burgers together. It's kind of cool. Here's a peek inside the box.
You get our custom blended Pat LaFreda burgers, best in the business. The Mediterra buns, all made properly, hand-milled flour, no high fructose corn syrup. Our seasoning mix, Duke's mayonnaise, sweet hot peppers, shasha sauce, lettuce, tomato, onion.
All that for $50. It's a pretty good deal. You can order the kit now and pick it up on Saturday between noon and 6. As I mentioned, it costs $50, and 10% of all sales will go to urban community schools. All right, pay attention. If you know a young person who loves football, we have something of interest to you. The Second and Seven Foundation has been around for over 20 years now. It was founded by former Ohio State football players Ryan Miller, Luke Fickell, and Mike Vrabel. The whole idea is to help foster a love of reading in our young people. Each year, they put on a huge football camp. They do it in Columbus, Ohio, but because of the COVID-19, this year it has to happen virtually, but that is actually good news for everyone that lives outside the area and nationwide. It is absolutely free of charge. Listen.
400 kids in a field doesn't make a whole lot of sense. So to allow for us to have a virtual camp where student athletes from Ohio State have gone through different drills that they have put on this website for the kids at home to go ahead and perform. We have a download PDF that you can print out and check off the list how many times you did a certain route or threw a certain ball. It's going to most likely be even more productive than an actual camp if you stick to your goals, which that's a whole other thing. This is a little bit of leadership. There's a ton of special guests that have a lot of great material, a lot of great insight, time-tested truths that I think every kid will enjoy.
Yeah, Ryan mentions a lot of special guests. Listen to the list here. All of the living, current and former Ohio State head football coaches will be giving messages, from Ryan Day to Urban Meyer, Jim Tressel, Luke Fickell, and John Cooper. All of this information on how to take advantage of this free camp is available now. It's on our website, WKYC.com. Super opportunity. Still ahead, our Worth the Watch is a cute one. How local police reunited a fawn with its mother.
Mic check, Monica. 1 2 1 2. Does shot look all right?
Welcome back. It's time for our Worth the Watch. And Jay, this one will melt your heart today. So police and a few boaters in a canal Fulton rescued a fawn who fell down an embankment, and they brought the baby deer back to the last spot it was seen with his mama. And he would let out a few cries, and within minutes, the mom actually came rushing back to reclaim the little guy. Super adorable, and there's the video of him. He's so tiny, looks like a stuffed animal. So cute.
That is adorable. The one thing that we know is those mother deer are never too far away. And when they hear the cry of their babies, they can get pretty defensive and pretty protective, and good for all involved. That's a great ending.
Yeah, I think that goes for all mamas out there, certainly. But this one had a cute spin on it.
The instinct of a mother, nothing like it. Romney, great to be with you, and thank you so much at home for joining us. We invite you to join us again tomorrow at 5 for another edition of What's New.
Always good to be with you, Jay. What Matters Most with Russ starts